Good evening and welcome to the Poets Cafe. It is where artists comes alive. The spoken word brings forth the inner creation of hidden treasures, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul. A vibration that brings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds, be it writers, singers, spoken word, artistic expression, and painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities through the mind at all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, where birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the call of nature, sing in harmony, pray for the love of the skies, and dance with the stars like a feminine ballerina, gazing across the stage in her soft-toed ballerina shoes. Welcome to the Artists of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCrae. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to engulf a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this program. It's live, maybe watching it on tape afterwards. This is a very special month for us, Women's History Month, and we plan to bring you some special programming, bring you some amazing women that we've met along our journey. Today, I'd like to begin with a quote. And this is from a gentleman named Earl Graves, who wrote a book, How to Succeed in Business Without Being White. And he says, and I quote, "If we don't leverage our collective economic, political, spiritual, and cultural power, we can never expect to control our destiny in this country." And this is from Earl Graves, from book, How to Succeed in Business Without Being White. And again, the theme, Women's History Month, we want to really talk about a woman who just passed. You know, it's sad. We lost Roberta Flack not too long ago. And today we say the name of this particular woman that we're going to speak about. Her name is Angela Laverne Brown, better known as Angie Stone. The headline reads, Angie Stone, hip-hop pioneer, turned neo-soul singer, dies at age 63. And it's such a tragedy. You know, here was a young woman who had so much more to give. And I've always looked back at my life and say, you know, if I had died at 40 or 50 or even 60, I could not have accomplished all that I've accomplished thus far. But again, you know, we carry on. And on my Facebook page all this week, I'll be writing about Angie Stone. I'll be writing about her second album. The first album was Black Diamond, and the second album was Mahogany Soul. And so, on my Facebook, I have a daily music blog. It's called Soul Music Prescription, album by album, song by song. So this week we're looking at Black Mahogany. But my brother, we're going to carry on today. For those who are watching us, we appreciate you very, very much. And my brother here, Ron McCrae, you know, he always starts with something very interesting. And again, because it's Women's History Month, he brings us these historical nuggets, some things that are in our history, but unfortunately is never brought out. So my brother, I welcome you to share what you have to share today.
Good evening to everybody, and it's always a pleasure. And even in short, I'd just like to say, as we always talk about, you know, Women's Month, which is starting this month, and our legacy and mothers and so on and so on. And yes, I agree with you. It is a tragedy that we lost a icon, you know, a poet, singer, you know, today. But this is what we talk about all the time. Today is what we have in this moment, because we know not what forth tomorrow may bring.
That's right.
So remembering her legacy, and Roberta Flack, and many others is what's important. Right. Keeping their spirits alive. And so what I like to do at this moment, at least in short, just as an example, introduce a couple of books. And there's a lot of books, especially on women.
Oh, yes.
But
a lot of books.
Matter of fact, I want to start with this one first, Here's one, Union County,
Yes.
you know, black Americans. And in here, it shows where there's a lot of women who have it and came together, collaboration of whether they were doctors and evangelists, whether it's a group, activists. That's what's important, is understanding the legacy of women,
That's right.
our sisters, our daughters, our grandparents. That's what's important today,
That's right.
is to keep their memories alive. Another
That's a good
book,
point.
a novel in reference to Black Amon. This is his sister, by Heather Neff, you know, who wrote a book, between her and her sister. You know, it's a novel.
That's right.
And that's what's important. Reading these stories that you don't hear about, that you don't even know anything about.
That's right.
But we try to bring forth new books that you may or may not know about, but at least have the opportunity to look up online, because everybody got a cell phone.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
You know, or go to
Everybody can
library.
Google.
There you go. You know, look these names up, because there's a whole host of names that was never brought to the light.
That's right.
And here's another one that I know that the average sister, especially the Sorors, know about, in reference to Dorothy Heights.
Yes.
You know, her story, her legacy, looking at where she started with a little one thought and idea to bring forth just one or two sisters and women, and as well as fighting for civil rights and freedom.
Yes.
That's
yes.
what it's all about. So keep that alive. Always remember what we bring to you, and we look for you to bring to us things and people we have not heard about or have not thought about. But that's what's important at this moment. So I just wanted to bring that to you right now. Keep this month each and every single day. Even women today, you have thoughts and ideas that we may not know anything about.
That's right.
But
That's
bring
right.
them to light. Talk to us. Bring it to the show.
Right, yeah. And again, you know, we celebrate you every day. You know, we celebrate our culture. And today's agenda we call is Sexy at 60. We'll explain that a little further. But Sexy at 60, past, present, and future. You know, we live a life that is the past and the present and the future all at the same time. That's why, you know, when we bring these books to you, you probably find that some of the books, because they're older books, you might even have it in your personal library. But we bring these books to your attention so you can read them and that you can grow from them, you know. And you have some other things for us too as well, brother, right?
Yeah, I'd like to read this one piece, as you indicated, which is not only Women's Month, but Sexy 60. And as we just heard and understood, and many know, that Angie Stone was in her 60s.
Yeah.
But here, I just like to read something I wrote. And this ties into the classiness of women today. And I'm going to be straight up with you and be honest with you. And I'm only speaking from my perspective.
That's right.
Because what really captures my interest is how women carry themselves with class,
That's right.
maturity, upright,
Yes,
looking like a model from day one.
That's right.
So let me
That's
read
right.
this.
Yeah.
And
Dignity.
this is titled All in Stride. She walks for the attention, she moves for the glamour, speaks in silence, frown with grace, but her voice brings wonders to the pleasantness of my soul. Her beauty rises, the fragrance leaves traces of aroma, suckling as the smell of lavender, colorful as the shades of autumn. The clothes she wears mimics the contour of her movement as she steps dance to the rhythm that only jazz players knows how to blow the right note. He crowns her with lyrics that causes her body to reach an orgasm, but saves the best for last. All in stride does her conversation speak with softness, and the silent whisper of her lips asks, "Are you listening?" My heart spoke, and the vibe shivered in my soul, crying out for romance, quivering in her stride. She says, "My love is beyond romance, but deep as the skies are blue, sweet as honeydew, soft as the air that blows without movement or knowing its direction." She asks, "Would you hold my hand?" while gazing at the wonders all around, and the sounds of nothing was felt in her spirit. She then turns and smiles. "Let's do it again. Caress me while I sit for a moment to reminisce the savory of time. Mountains are hard to climb, valleys are low, but the walk through the park brings solace to romance, rich and vibrant. Can I kiss you before I leave? Goodbyes are never easy, so I won't say hello. This moment will last my lifetime, and memories never die alone.
Yes, thank you, my brother. That's All in Stride. And what is that poem from? What book is that
This
from?
is from my book, We See Colors,
Yes.
the organic flavors of life, and all that's incorporated to the characteristic of all of us, men and women.
Right.
But in this case, this segment and this month is centered around women, all in stride.
Yeah, it's beautiful because again, we have many books. It's I always say so many books, so little time. But we're going to continue to bring you information in these books that I think will change your life. This segment of the program is Mind, Body, and Books, where I introduce some new books, some old books. This book I'm going to introduce first is a book called 60 is a Good Start, a Powerful Body, a Purposeful Life, and a Plan to Make It Happen. And this is by Allison McCune Davis. And again, we get to a point in our lives where we really have to make some changes. And for many of us, if we're lucky, we make the changes early so we can have some longevity. Sometimes the lessons are hard. I know for myself, as I got into my 50s and 60s, I had to really change my diet drastically. Things I just couldn't eat anymore. But this book is really good because, again, it is a call to action. We have many ideas, many thoughts, but they don't mean anything unless we move on them. So I just want to read a couple of sentences from this particular book, and this is from chapter 5, and this is called The Bodywork Big Five. And she begins with a quotation. She says that those who have no time for healthy eating will sooner or later have to find the time for illness. And this is from Edward Stanley. And the thing is that we really have to have a plan to take care of ourselves. And in this chapter, she gives us 5 things that we need to look at. And I'll look at this briefly and have my brother comment on it. But this is she calls this the Body Work 5. And this is number 1, eat. Pick one thing you will add, subtract, or change about what or how you're eating to improve your health. Number 2, drink. Drink at least half your body weight in ounces of water. Number 3, move. Exercise for a set number of minutes per day, ideally 45 minutes. But if you need to do less, that is completely fine. You decide where you will start. You can even start at a lower amount and aim to reach a higher one by the end of your 60 days. And number 4, sleep. Get at least 7 hours of true sleep each night. 8 or 9 would be wonderful. And number 5, breathe. Do at least 10 minutes of deep breathing a day. Almost all wellness practitioners would agree that these 5 fundamentals are key. Get these going in the right direction, you'll be miles ahead on your wellness path. Remember, you're taking baby steps. Even do one of these will get you on a much better track. To help you choose, let's look at some guidelines and ideas for each option. So again, this the 5 body work things that she says. The first one is eat. Okay, eat. And then the second one is drink. The third one is move. The fourth one is sleep. And the fifth one is breathe. So what do you think about this, brother? Do these 5 make sense? Are these things doable? Are these 5 things sustainable?
All of them is who we are or who we're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we realize that there are a lot, that are making those changes and have made those changes. So here, eat.
Yeah.
I know everybody feel hungry. There's times.
We like to eat.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
I love to eat.
So,
some people live to eat.
Live to eat. Or eat to live. So which one is it?
Whatever, yeah.
But whatever's important to you, your body needs food.
That's right.
You cannot function without food. sleep. I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried. I don't think since I was a teenager was able to get 8 hours of sleep because my mother used to wake me up when there was no school.
That's right.
And so honestly, and even as we grace in time,
right.
you know, we don't require or may not get that much sleep. But the fact is having enough rest and sleep.
That's right. That's right.
Drink. Well, I know everybody knows what it is to have a dry throat, dry tongue, dry lips. You know what a desert's all about.
That's right.
Because there's no liquid, there's no water. So we must drink enough water, as they say, 8 glasses a day, 2.5 liters of water, you know, during the course of the day. But the thing is, you don't gulp it down. You take sips of it. From the first time you wake up, you know, you start sipping all day long. You know, movement is important. There's nothing worse than being stiff. You know, you act like you can't speak, you know, move. Yeah. Exactly, because physically when you can't move, you know, all of a sudden you start thinking the exact same way. Now your brain is frozen. And so here, breathing, that's extremely important as with water. That's right. You must breathe because, again, the body is in somewhat dormant, laying in a state of restfulness when you're at night or sitting on day. You must get up and open up your lungs.
That's right.
As the air around you feel. You know, if a gust of wind comes, you act like you're choking to death. But the wind is telling you, I'm in line with myself. Right. Are you in line with yourself and breathing, keeping your body not only hydrated, but with fresh air? Yes. And that's how we release toxin.
That's right.
And there was one more.
It said, eat, sleep, drink.
And move.
Move. Yes.
You have to move.
You got to move.
If I covered it, but I'm coming back, you have to move. Move your head, move your body, move your neck. Dance, do anything.
Whatever.
You have to move, whatever it takes. So that's those are the things that's important.
Yeah, and the thing, and these are very simple things that you can do. But again, the body is made to be in motion. I mean, and going back to drinking water, you can live a lot longer without food than water. You know, you can go months without food, but water, you can only go a couple of weeks. But again, we bring this to you. So again, some food for thought. Now, another book that I want to share with you. This is a book that I read many years ago. But again, I like to read books again and again because when I do, I get different insights. And the name of this book is Black Faces in White Places. 10 game-changing strategies to achieve success and find happiness. And authors are Randall Pinkett and Jeffrey Robinson with Philana Patterson. And this is a book that is very eye-opening because, again, they give you 10 strategies for success. But I'd like to share a portion of this book, which I think many of you will find interesting. As a matter of fact, my brother, when I was looking at this, I said, well, you know what? I think Ron could really appreciate this. Now, Ron, did you know that you were a master of your subject matter? Because it says here that, and I quote from the book, it said Malcolm Gladwell, in his book The Outliers, The Story of Success, Little Brown, 2008 publisher, presents the case that it takes, and this is what I want you to focus on, Ron. I want you to look at this. Is that it presents the case that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to become an expert at something. It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. Why? Because several studies have shown that world-class musicians and athletes have practiced their craft for more than 10,000 hours to become excellent. In fact, according to Gladwell, the excellence had less to do with their natural ability, although of course that helps, and more to do with the time that they put into practicing and develop their abilities. We both put many hours into our pursuit of entrepreneurship and research. Some of that time is spent in academia earning degrees. But long before that, we began our first venture together as students at Rutgers, which we'll discuss in more detail. Now, again, this is the author speaking. And I know for myself, and I know for you, would you say that you spent more than 10,000 hours on your writing, on your poetry?
I do.
10,000 years, right?
I do 20,000. Because something like that is constant.
It is.
You're not burning yourself out.
No.
It's constant being active, keeping your mind, your body back to health,
That's right.
and all those things.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, again, I'm saying this: when you look around you, you'd be surprised that a good percentage of people spend probably 80. What was it? 10,000.
10,000 hours.
8,000 hours doing nothing, just drifting.
That's
and so
arresting.
again, nothing is accomplished, and I think that's what this brother is saying. Because musicians and writers and poets and activists and athletes, they spend constant time perfecting their craft, whatever that may be, and that's what's important.
Yeah, because in the book, the actual book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Outliers, he uses as example the Beatles. When they were in London, England, they would play at this particular club 7 days a week. So 7 days a week, maybe they do 3 or 4 sets a night, and so there was a constant playing. And I know for us, when we do this show, I don't know how many shows that we've done thus far, but every show we have prep before that. And so again, by the time we finished this year, we would have put, I'm sure, many hours. I don't know, it'll be 10,000 hours, but I know that it would be a lot. I know for myself, I always tell the story, and it's very true. I told my mother when I was 9 years old, I wanted to be a writer. And I'm sure from 9 to my current 74, I'm sure I put in 10,000 and probably more. But again, the thing is that I continue to practice my craft. I mean, I write every day. And I publish at least 2, 3, or 4 articles a day. But my point is, whatever is your passion will be something that you don't mind doing. You don't mind doing it because you want to be the best at what you do, because again, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. And at this time in my life, it gives me a sense of purpose. So what you say about that, brother? Is that where you find your passion and the time that you put into your craft?
It's interesting. I want to go back to what you said.
Yeah.
My mother used to say, "Get up, boy, and do something."
do something.
So, even if you have not thought about that something, you have not perfected anything, you have not worked on some kind of craft, in between those raindrops is your thought, your thinking.
That's right.
So when you get to something, you end up creating something. And up until now, as you indicated, constantly thinking and writing. So even outside the show itself, and as you indicated, you said prepping. And so as we going through this session, and the moment we leave here, we having the conversation about something. And in that conversation, thoughts and ideas are coming. So we end up going home to read or going home to write. You're constantly doing something. And yet, in the same token, we still get to sleep and rest.
That's right.
Still drinking water, still doing what we need to do, because you can't do anything if the body is dead.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And I think one of the things that I know for myself is that I'm not so concerned about what other people do. See, that's the thing. We get into that thing with trying to be like other people. You can't be like me, I can't be like you. But what we can do, we can realize that longevity, it really takes a lot of time and attention. You don't stay healthy by accident is my point. And so again, we really perfect that. And the thing is that when we talk about music, we have so much music in our culture, and we lose our stars like Roberta Flack and Angie Stone and others, Chris Jasper from Ozzy Brothers. But the thing is that we have this music. But one of the things I find for myself, and one of the ways that I keep my mind flexible and young, is to learn things every day. And also, I've been blessed, and I think you've been blessed as well, brother. I talked about our jobs and our work, okay? Our jobs is our 9 to 5. I had many jobs, but my work has always been my calling. And I found it early, and I'm glad that I did. I found that my calling was to be a teacher. And for me, a teacher is not someone who's teaching somebody, but it's someone who's sharing their knowledge. So if I have knowledge, if I have some things I want to share with you, and that's where the teaching aspect comes in. And so when we go through this program, especially this segment of the program, which I call Music is Lit, we really get to the point where, I'm doing some teaching. And I found, because when I started my college career, teaching was the last thing I wanted to be. And when I was a kid, I never wanted to be a teacher because, for a couple of reasons. Number one is that I didn't think I was smart enough, And the second reason you might find funny, but I was a kid, Ron, I didn't want to be a teacher. You know why? Because I thought that the teachers lived at the school. You know? And I don't want to live at the school because, I mean, you see them when you get there, right? And when you leave, they're there, but you never see them on the street. So I figured they lived at the school, and I didn't want to live in the school. But as I went through my career, and it's funny because when I retired at 57, I went into teaching because at that time I'd seen different people teach, and I had seen sort of behind the scenes how they prepare and that kind of thing. And I said, I think I can do that. But I was also a person that was very inquisitive, and I was a person who liked to study. And as a preface to my Music as Lit segment today, I want to introduce a concept. And the concept is found poetry. And basically, found poetry is putting different elements together to make a poem. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now, I have a book that I put together. It's called Found Poetry, but it's found poetry as related to music. And what I did is I put together different song titles to make a poem. As a matter of fact, this is the example that I'm going to use tonight, and I'm going to expand on this. Okay, so this is, we'll call it Untitled, and this is Found Poetry. Be thankful for what you got. On the wings of love, the best is yet to come. And so again, I like to tell a story. I like a narrative. And so when we put that together, be thankful for what you got. On the wings of love, the best is yet to come. These are song titles. And I want to look at the first song, poem, and it's called Be Thankful for What You Got. And this is from William Devon, and this is from 1974. And I'm sure many of you will recognize this particular poem. And it reads like this: though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, gangster lean white walls, TV antennas in the back, you may not have a car at all. But remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Gangster white walls, TV antennas in the back. You may not have a car at all. But remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Hoo-hoo. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, digging the scene with the gangster lean. Now, I never learned how to drive, but I did have my gangster lean down pat. Here's my... So brothers got the gangster lean. So the lean is so mean you couldn't even see them, man. It's like a car was driving by itself, because they down so low, man. And the gangster lean. But you remember that song? That was a very popular song, right?
Yeah, it sure was. Diamond in the back,
sunroof top, digging the scene. Gangster lean. Ooh.
And what's interesting too, as you indicated, even not being able to drive, how many brothers walk like they had a lean?
Again, right,
Yeah.
Sister,
what's going on? Yeah. So all that ties in. And as you indicated, which is so true, when you listen to the lyrics, that's what's important.
That's important.
And they telling the story, and they give you the outline, and the only thing you have to do is take who you are, your craft.
That's right.
And tie it into the exact same thing.
Yeah. And again, that was, again, one of those summer songs, I mean, every summer there's a big song, and you hear that song all over. Every place you go, they're singing, sunroof top, and the thing is that, again, and it's so funny because it's almost a form of communication, because that song is big in New York, it's big in Philly, it's big in D.C., and all the place. And that's one of the ways that we sort of brought ourselves together as a community, because Stevie Wonder had a radio station. He still may have some. I know James Brown at one time had a radio station, And so what happens, this is the way that we communicate. Now, because this is a Women's History Month, this is a special song that I like to read as a love poem, okay? Because again, you know, we appreciate you, women. You know, we love you and we respect you, and we want to give you your flowers, your props, and that kind of thing. And this song is entitled "On the Wings of Love," and it's sung by and written by Jeffrey Osborne, a former lead singer for LTD. Then he went on out on his own, and this is from his first album, his first solo album in 1982. And brother is up in age, but he's still performing in concert. And so this is a song that he sings, but I offer to you as a love song because the metaphors are so beautiful. And he says, and I read, "Just smile for me and let the day begin. You are the sunshine that lights my life within. And I'm sure that you are an angel in disguise. Come take my hand and together we will rise. On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high up on the wings of love. You look at me and I begin to melt, just like the snow when a regular sun is felt. And I'm crazy about you, baby, can't you see? I'd be so delightful if you would come with me. On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high up on the wings of love. Yes, you belong to me. I'm yours exclusively. Right and now we live and breathe each other. Inseparable, it seems, we're flowing like a stream, running free, traveling on the wings of love. On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high, together flying high. On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high up on the wings of love. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And really, what I suggest that you do after you watch the program is go and look up some of these words. That's why I present the show notes for you before we even come on the air, because I want you to be up on what we're saying. Because again, this music. I mean, I told you before. I don't know how I got into it, but I think it's because of my parents, my mother, and my grandmother. They always had music on in the house, and we listen to music. It seemed like all day. As a matter of fact, more music than TV, because back in the day there were not that many people on TV, and basically there were like maybe 5 channels, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 13, and TV would go off at 12 o'clock. That would be the end of the broadcast day, and then it would come back on around 7 o'clock. But again, so music was our main entertainment. And this last song I really want to share with you, and I also encourage you not only to listen to the music, but also watch the video, because this brings two people together, two powerhouse musicians. The name of the song is "The Best Is Yet to Come," and it's Grover Washington Jr. on the saxophone with Patti LaBelle singing, and this is from 1982. And like I said, I want you to actually hear them sing the song, but watching the music video is also a special treat as well. And this is entitled "The Best Is Yet to Come." Give me the sun, I'll give you the moonlight. Love will set us free if we just believe the best is yet to come. Show me your smile, I'll fill it with laughter that will light your mind. As long as we believe the best is yet to come. Can you see what I see on the road ahead? Do you know there's new life there, waiting there? Give me the world and I'll give you heaven. Love will set us free. As long as we believe the best is yet to come. Show me your smile. I'll fill it with laughter that will light your mind. As long as we believe the best is yet to come. Give me the sun. I'll give you moonlight. Yes, I will. Can you see what I see on the road ahead? If you know there's a new life there waiting there, or give me the world, I'll give you heaven. Love will set us free. As long as we believe, the best is yet to come. Baby, don't you know that as long as we believe, the best is yet to come? And again, a beautiful song, a beautiful message, because all the stuff that we've gone through in a lifetime, one of the things that's kept me sort of grounded is the fact that, it's going to be a better day tomorrow, and that the best is yet to come. And so, again, I end with those three songs, but I just want to mention another song, another one of my favorite songs. I'm not going to recite it today, but I want you to do some research. A song by Anita Baker, and it's entitled "Giving You the Best That I Got." That's my theme song. When I'm walking down the street, that's in my head. Giving you the best that I got, is something that I wish that everyone could say that to someone special. I'm giving you the best that I got. And so we come to the part of the program which we call Food for Thought. And this Food for Thought is, I think, very appropriate to what we've been talking about all night. And this particular segment we call How to Eat to Live, and a call to action. Because, again, a lot of us think about a better diet. They think about cutting out the things that we know are harmful to us, but we don't move on that. I think one of the things that helped me in my journey was when I was a young man. I think I was about maybe 18, 19. I found this book, and the book is entitled How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. And I never became a Muslim. I've known people who have. I've known brothers. My blood brother is a Muslim. But How to Eat to Live. And it talked about the biggest thing was not to eat the pig, not to eat the pork. Because, again, that was considered a dirty animal. But as I've grown, I found that, chicken is not much better, And I never thought I would ever say that I don't eat as much chicken as I used to. As a matter of fact, I started experimenting and doing meatless meals. I would do it maybe a day or in a week, maybe 2 or 3 meatless meals. And now meatless meals have started to turn into meatless weeks and now meatless months and hopefully meatless years. And also, another thing from this book, it tells you to eat 1 meal a day. Now, people say, oh, that's crazy. You got to have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, not necessarily, especially if you're not working. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for somebody who's working in the field. I don't think many people do that. But again, and this is just me, you can do what you want to do, but I try to eat my last meal no later than 6 o'clock. And then from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock the next day, I don't eat anything. And then I break my fast around 12 or 1. I start eating again. But the thing is, we realize that the older you get, it's harder to digest your food if it's bad food, and also we don't want to get all the weight. But I realized, I just found out recently that there's another part to this book, How to Eat to Live, book 2. And so I've been studying these 2 books. But I know my brother, again, I have to give him credit because, he is extraordinary. And I know it's because of his diet, and not just his physical diet, but also his mental diet and also his spiritual diet. He's a spiritual man. And the thing is, I just want him to talk about, because, a lot of times, you look at brothers like myself and him and say, man, y'all don't have that big belly over your belt and whatnot, and you're not huffing and puffing down the street. You walk with some swag, and you walk with some style. You keep yourself together. You dress nice and that kind of thing. You're well spoken, and these things are really things that don't happen by accident. And so again, I buy the New York Times newspaper every Sunday, and one of my favorite sections is a section where they'll have one person, they'll follow them from morning till night, and just to show what they do in the course of a day. And so again, one of the things that would help you is that if you're trying to lose weight or maintain a healthy weight, just take some time to actually write out what your day looks like. and that might help you. But my brother, like I said, I look at you. You don't look like an old man. You look like a man of purpose. You look like a man of energy. And again, and I believe, and you believe that health is wealth. But my question is, how do you do it, my brother? How do you do it?
You know,
Brag on yourself.
The most important things you have. Matter of fact, even what you just said, and we say it all the time. You have to think about who you are.
Yes.
What is your makeup?
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, and let's be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Please.
I'm be straight up. This is
Be
raw
straight
and
up.
uncensored.
Yes, you know. Yeah,
Okay?
it is.
The fact is, when you buy food, you cook food, you eat food, and all the waste you throw it in the garbage.
Yes.
And as you indicated, how to eat to live. Now, it's not what comes out, it's what you put in your mouth. Life, all of creation has been given to us for sustainability, to live long, a long life, healthy and well. Exercise, moving. You indicated earlier about moving, breathing, sleeping, all of that. But you cannot do that with garbage in you. Your gut is a garbage can. If you put the right things in there, your body goes through the system, process it, and disperse it. But if you putting this stuff in your body that's not going anywhere, guess what? It's going to bring you down. Now you're complaining. Something's wrong. This or that or the other. But you have to think about who you are. And every single person is responsible for themselves. Every animal eat what they have been created to do. They don't just do anything. Sure, there's some carnivores and all kind of other balls and whatnot, eat whatever. But they also stay away from certain things.
Okay.
But as human beings, I get up, I breathe, I exercise, I stretch, I go to the park. I spend 10, 15 minutes, maybe an hour. The bottom line, you don't have to overexert yourself because who am I trying to impress?
That's right.
I'm trying to take care of me. I'm not out there trying to pump all these weight and look like this and that and the other. I'm not going to the gym. The point is, stop trying to impress. You said it earlier. You know, not being about somebody else. Impress yourself.
That's right.
Because the only person that you see in the mirror,
Every day.
any reflection in the water, on the mirror, on the stores, whatever, the window, you see you.
That's right. That's right.
You see, and you is talking about you because you is saying to you, look at you. How do you think you feel?
That's right.
And you asking yourself the question, but who are you talking to? So that's what's important.
Yeah, it is important. And just two things before I go back to my
Sure.
brother. Number one, people, say, well, I want to get fit. Now, they think about big muscles and that kind of thing. And again, that's nice. I mean, it's okay. It's like very aesthetically pleasing. But to be fit is really to be able to get through your day with the proper amount of energy. Okay? I usually wake up around 5, and I don't get out of bed till 7. But as I lay there, I put on an audio book, or I'll just do some meditation and that kind of thing. And I get up and I shower and shave, and I try to get to my home office at 9, and I'm there from 9 to 12. And then at 1 o'clock, I'll think about getting something to eat. And I usually walk to some place to get it. I used to go to the farmers markets and that kind of thing, And then I'll come back and maybe I'll watch some news, or maybe I might do some reading and that kind of thing. And then maybe in the evening I'll watch some shows, and I'm usually in bed by 10 o'clock. The best time to would be from 9 to 10, because you're getting like 11, and then you get into 12, and it's a new day, okay? And the second thing is that diet. You got to understand that, we are human beings. And I think one of the things that we make a mistake is that, like I have a problem with dairy products. I've always had a problem with that. I've been lactose intolerant, and many of us are that, But the whole concept of drinking milk, especially from a cow, is kind of weird, okay? But I remember when I was a kid, they would give us a free lunch, and they would always get on me because I couldn't drink the milk. If I drink the milk, I might as well take a laxative because it would go right through me. So again, we have to make adjustments. And my brother, I just want to ask you. I've noticed that you've been drinking coconut water. How does that help you, and how did you get into that?
Well, it's interesting. You hear about coconut water natural all around the world, especially in Jamaica, the islands, or Africa, because coconut water is a natural liquid. It has electrolytes, natural, electrolytes that helps alkaline the body. That's what's important. Even when you buy water, I'm gonna be honest with you, buy spring water. Everybody's drinking spring water, but is it alkaline? Is it natural, straight from the earth, from the volcano? I drink Fiji water because it comes straight from down below, and then the French Alps. So that all that's important, but to each his own. Water is not just water that you drink. You have to look at, and I want to tie into what you were just saying about eating. There's a difference between other countries and this country. Other countries don't have processed stuff. Even if you eat pig here, but in other countries where they eat pigs, pigs don't eat the garbage that they feed here. They're not filled with injections. So you have to understand how to eat to live and what's in the food that you are ingesting. That's what's important. So again, all that plays a part. So yes, I was drinking coconut water for the longest, but the more I hear about it, the more I get into it. And in the same token, here's what's important. Know where it comes from, the product of, whether it's Brazil, the Philippines, because it's coming straight from a place that did not go through a process. See, that's what's important. And so that's just my opinion, okay? So I look at that, you see. But as you indicated, back to the pigs, the pork, whatever you eat, whatever you like. But you have to ask yourself, was I created to eat these things? Or I was created to live life and have life abundantly? That's the difference.
Yeah, that's the difference. And one of the things about eating is the fact that a lot of us, you know how to eat to live. Sometimes, we eat when we're not hungry. For some people, it's a strange concept, They eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and again, to each his own. But have you ever eaten when you were not hungry? When, it was like lunchtime, but you didn't really feel that you were hungry. And what happens, you stuff ourselves, and here's another one. Have you ever eaten because you were bored, because you were frustrated, because you didn't know what else to do, and that bag of chips was just calling you, And so what I'm saying is that, don't just change your eating habits because of what I'm saying. I think whatever I say, you really have to do some research. And it wasn't always like that for me because, I'm the type of person, back in the day when your parents had food for you, that's the food that you get, now kids talk about, I want Chinese food, I want pizza and whatnot. When I grew up, that was the dinner, okay? That was the dinner. If you did not eat that, guess what? You had no dinner for that day, okay? And that really helped me. But also, it's so funny how we're influenced by the media, even back then. I never get wrong. I told my mother, I said, Mom, I want you to buy, next time you go shopping, I want you to buy some spinach. And she looked at me, she said, spinach? You don't like vegetables? I said, yeah. Yeah, I love spinach. So the next time that you go, get the spinach. She said, boy, if I buy this spinach, you better eat it. Yeah, hey, Mom, please, get me that spinach, and I am going to love it. And so Sunday dinner had rice. I love rice. We had chicken, love chicken, especially fried. And then she had this green stuff. I said, well, what is that? I'm looking, it looked kind of mushy and squishy and whatnot. And I said, wow, man, I don't know what that is, but I'm not eating that. And she looked at me, and I looked at her. She said, you're going to eat that. I said, what? I said, what did I do to be punished? She said, that's spinach. I said, what? That's spinach? I said, yeah, you can eat that. Okay, if you don't eat that, I'm going to beat your tail. What? She said, you're not going to leave that table until you eat that spinach. And so I'm sitting there, man, I got the rice, and I got the chicken and whatnot, but that green stuff. And now, now what happened, now it got cold. And I knew I wasn't going to eat it when it's hot, and I'm definitely not eating when it's cold. And she came back. She said, you still there? Yeah. She said, you going to eat that? Yeah, well, yeah, all right. She came back again, and this time she had the belt. I said, oh, boy, wait a minute. I said, look, Mom, she said, what? She said, eat that spinach. Yeah, listen. Mom, you made a mistake. I love spinach. As a matter of fact, I could eat spinach every day. But Mom, you made a mistake. I said, what are you talking about? Like when you're watching Popeye the Sailor Man, and Brutus is beating him up, because, Popeye's trying to protect Olive Oyl, his skinny girlfriend. And guess what? And when he's beating on Popeye, Popeye grabs that can of spinach and he squeezes that can of spinach, and the spinach pop out of the can into his mouth, and Popeye gets strong. Well, that's what I want to do, and Mama, I can't do that because you made a mistake. What you did is you cooked it. Yeah, you cooked it. See, I like my spinach raw, I like raw spinach. That's what I told you to buy it. I wanted to eat it raw. As a matter of fact, I want to eat it right out the can. She said, "Boy, are you crazy?" No. That's what it is. Sorry. She said, "If you don't get out of here," and I ran out. But then I said, "Whoa, wait a minute." I said, "What about my dessert? Sweet potato pie, right?" She said, "You pushing it?" Well, hey, I'm on the roll. But the thing I'm saying it to you is that now I love spinach. I love kale. I love collard greens. All those type of things. And about the water, sometimes I know for myself it's hard to drink 8 glasses a day. But you have to understand there's some food that has water in it, like usually your green vegetables, have that. And again, what I'm suggesting, again, whatever you decide to do is what you do. But I'm the type of person, I don't like to tell people to do anything. I just try to be an example, okay? If I say I'm 74 and you say, well, Mr. Benjamin, you don't look like you're 74, well, it's because of my diet, because of my exercise. And again, there's no secret to longevity. There's no secret to good health. But I think, again, it doesn't happen by accident. And so, again, we're going to honor women, but we're also going to honor you, our people that tune in on Thursday from 6 to 7 and from Sunday from 5 to 6. And Ron, boy, we're almost out of time, so would you like to wrap things up for us?
Yeah, just a couple minutes. And I just want to touch bases. And what's so important.
Yes.
This is why they say eat salad, because it's in its natural state. Mm-hmm. If you steam it, lightly steam. Mm-hmm. If you saute it, really light, just so much, but only certain foods you can do that. Mm-hmm. That will still keep its natural proteins and enzymes and all the electrolyte within inside. Yes, yes. And you're right. Celery has a lot of water in it. Mm-hmm. Cucumbers has a lot of water. Mm-hmm. And, that's what's important, the natural state. Because everything you cook serves no purpose. Mm-hmm. And so here, the other couple of things in short, nice cars. How many people have nice cars, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and all kind of cars? You wash them, you keep them clean, but yet still you are toxic on the inside. Yeah. You want to look good with the makeup, this and that and the other. You want to carry yourself like a billboard, but you're toxic on the inside. Mm-hmm. The inside is the most important. Every single microscopic element of the human body needs exercise, water, food, breathing, you name it. You are the ones. You are the controller of who you are. Mm-hmm. If you don't take care of you, the rest start to fall apart. Mm-hmm. You get mad because your liver, kidney, and everything else, your lungs, you can't breathe, but you have to ask yourself why. It's because of what you put in. So all of that's important. And the other couple seconds is teaching, as you said. Mm-hmm. Every single thing you learn, and you pass it on. You have learned something, so you're teaching. You may not be a professor, but you become a professor within yourself of all the things that you learn. You don't become a master until you leave here. But as you're living here in the present, you become a master of many things that somebody else have not even learned anything. So that's why we're supposed to be collectives of information, education, and presenting those things. All that's important. No matter how you look at it, you are what you eat. How to eat to live. Not live to eat. See, that's the problem. And you have to also take accountability that what you have been introduced to is one thing, But your ancestors, our parents wouldn't have had to do these things prior to.
That's right. That's right.
But once you become educated, you become knowledgeable, you become responsible to change the way you think, change the way you eat. The way you think and eat will also ultimately showcase how you look and feel. So when you're walking down the street and you're strolling like a lean to the scene and whatnot, case be,
right,
you can say, like, who was it? I think James, I feel good.
Like I knew that would.
No matter how you look at it.
And that's the thing, because again, I mean, we're not saying you got to be body beautiful, but I think, again, you have to have energy to really enjoy your life. You really have energy to enjoy your grandchildren, enjoy your children, and enjoy your life. And again, we're not trying to dispense any medical information because we're not doctors, We're just men who are continuing to live our life at a very high level. And we really want the same for you. I mean, we say that again and again that health is wealth. There's some people who can't get out of bed. There's some people who are hooked up to machines and whatnot. Every day that you can get out of bed and go through your daily routine is a blessing. And we want you to continue that blessing. So again, this is March Women's History Month. We're going to have some special program for that. But again, please push the subscribe button, subscribe to the program because, every time we come on, whether it's Thursday or Sunday, we're bringing you new information. I'm constantly reading. My brother's constantly reading. We're constantly taking in information that we can present to you. So again, we thank you.
And in short, here's right quick.
Yep.
Yes, this is Women's Month we start, but we look for you to also add to us. Women, educate the men. Showcase them who you are, what you make up. Don't just talk about, I'm a woman. No, be that classy woman with substance. Show the brother, correct the brother, correct these men who talks out of character and talk you down. No, lift them up. Say, brother, that ain't right. Because you could be my mother, my brother, my uncle, my father, whatever the case may be. Lift them up because we're here to glorify you because had it not been for the woman, where would we be? And so here, the last thing is what I follow.
Yes,
on YouTube, you can follow a lot of doctors. There's Dr. Price I follow, Dr. Mandel I follow, Dr. Berg I follow, Barbara O'Neill, Dr. Barbara O'Neill I follow. There's multiple who will tell you how to eat the good food. And as you introduce Elijah Muhammad, that's important. There's more. Dr. Lee,
how to eat to live.
How to eat to beat diseases. All of these things is right there in front of your place, your eye. But see, distraction come when society says, no, don't worry about it. We want you to eat what's good. Eat what's on the shelf. But you have to know what you're eating. Read the labels. Read the information because that's what we talk about all the time.
That's right.
Read. If you can't pronounce a word, look it up.
That's right.
And then once you look it up and you get an understanding, now you say, wait a minute, I need to stay away from it because you're putting it in your body.
That's right.
And here's the last second. And I'm leaving. This is just me now.
Yes, yeah.
Now, one of the things that I've been hearing and what's important is that a lot of the doctors, Price, and even outside it, about the water. You look at the process, they talk about fine plastic. Microscopic plastic that could be in a lot of stuff that you are ingesting.
in your body. You got
That's
plastics
what's
in your body.
important. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why they say, basically we should be drinking out of water glass, not plastic, not paper, and that kind of thing. And the last thing that I want to say, basically, my thought now is, again, that food is medicine, okay? And so whatever I take into my body, I really think many times about it, okay? Because, again, I want to make sure whatever I take in is really helping me and not hurting me. And so we say to you, thank you for tuning in, telling other people about it, and we'll see you on Thursday.
And before you go on, this last thing, I'm sorry, because you indicated, and that's it's so true to get away from breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast, what I've just learned recently over the past couple of years, breakfast means really break fast. Break fast from the body going through something, processing and detoxing the body. So now when you wake up, you're supposed to stretch and drink water to rejuvenate it, bring it to life. And that's what you're supposed to do. Not get up and eat some bacon and hamburger. I'm sorry. But anyway, it was truly a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Okay, eat to live.